classic cinema. I almost said hello, Story Power listeners. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, so hello, classic cinema with the Sage Sisters. As you can see, I'm not home. Um, my husband Barry is at it's called Mac Stock Conference. It's all about Apple computers and things you can do with it and apps you can use and all that kind of stuff. So I am in one of the participants' room because our room doesn't have a desk. So it is in Crystal Lake, which Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago, and the weather is gorgeous here. And not that I've been outside a whole lot, but so Celeste and I are talking today about, we can't believe it's 25 years old,
I can't. No,
Legally
it's
Blonde,
so
which,
insane.
yeah, which is came out in
2020, yeah,
2001.
2001. I looked at Tim,
Yeah.
I said, this came out the year we got married? And
Yeah.
Ariel was like, no way. I said, the movie's older than you. Can you
Yeah.
believe it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
and
about,
this is episode 39. So I love this movie for a reason which I will talk about later. But let me do the description, and then Celeste had something that she wanted to say on camera. So this is the description. Fashionable sorority queen Elle Woods follows her ex-boyfriend to law school, where she discovers that there is more to her than just looks, which is actually true, because when they talk about, you have to take the LSATs to get into law school. And so she studies and studies and studies and studies, and she practices and practices. And when she gets her test score back, it's 179, and the very top test score is 180.
right,
That's a
right.
perfect score. So she is like in the top 1%.
Well, I think that's how she gets in because they see that she got that score and they're kind of like, we really can't say no.
Right,
I think, the
exactly.
discussion that they have is she's, sent in her, her entrance or,
Her,
application video and,
uh-huh.
the whole thing. And it's a great conversation. Now you see it's a bunch of men. Um,
Right.
but one of
Because
the things
it's a very Hollywood-esque kind of video that
it
she.
is. It's very Hollywood. She's got a sparkly bikini. I mean, if you haven't seen Legally Blonde, seeing that it's 25 years old, I don't know how you wouldn't enjoy this movie because it's Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
And the cast I think is really great too. I love
Yes.
Ariel and I we were watching it last night, obviously, again, because I've watched it a million times. But we love Luke Wilson. I
No,
think
I
he's a
like
bit of
him.
an underrated actor as well because this is pretty early on for him too. He
Yes.
was in his 20s at that point because I looked him up, he's only like 54 now, and Reese just turned 50. So, look at how
Yeah.
young she was,
Yes.
so which kind of puts it pretty accurate for their ages going to
Yes.
law school, quite
Yes.
frankly.
Yes.
Which is kind of unusual for Hollywood to actually get it that close to the right ages.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
it- really, seriously. But I think the thing I did want to say was I couldn't believe it's 25 years old because in reality, this movie is still somewhat timeless.
Oh, yes.
There's so many things about this movie
Yes.
that women still, especially women of a certain class, and where you go to school, how you dress, being attractive, I think people still think you can't be that smart.
Right. Well,
And
and this is the thing about that. Um, I think a lot of people think that all white people are the same, but we have our class
yeah,
system too. And
we
so
do.
the fact
Yeah.
that she has her degree in fashion marketing says something, that she's sort of an airhead. Plus, she dresses differently than
Well, I
somebody
mean,
who's
she's
going
from
to be a
Beverly Hills.
lawyer.
She's from Beverly Hills. So
Right.
her parents are very wealthy. And, one of the funny things, they show her parents twice. Um, and her dad's always got a martini in his, like
And
that's what it's
right,
very cliche. That's
right,
the other thing that I think makes this movie so fun is they play on the cliche ideas of the
right,
wealthy.
right.
That your
Or of the
parents, why
Hollywood
why would you
wealthy.
want to go to law school? How
Right.
ridiculous. You don't need to do that. You have money. You
Yeah.
know. So that's an interesting scene that she has with her parents because this movie is very evolving because you see her, obviously, if you've seen this movie, you see her at the beginning and she's just and she's walking around and she's getting her hair done and all the girls in her dorm are very,
Her
very much the
sorority.
same way. Her
Yeah.
sorority, they're all the same way,
Yeah. Yeah.
working out, being pretty.
Right.
Obviously it's not just an all girls school because the music they're playing at the beginning is the girl riding the bike and all the guys are woohoo.
Right.
But it's she's preparing for this man that she's been dating since they started college, that
Yes.
and he's wealthy, comes from a wealthy family
Yeah.
of lawyer. His father is a lawyer, and his
And he wants to
brother,
go into
and he wants to go
politics.
into politics. So you have to go into politics. You got to be a lawyer. And, she's preparing that he says it's a very important dinner. So in her mind, oh my God, he's finally going to propose.
Right.
No, he's
Yeah.
finally going to propose to me. So that's what she's preparing. She's getting the right dress. And this is the other thing. This is a really important scene before the date is she's, at the clothing store, very exclusive, obviously in
Right.
Beverly Hills,
Right.
picking out her most important dress. And the woman who is working at the shop thinks she's stupid.
Right.
Oh, great. She pulls the for sale, the clearance tag off the dress. Oh, with nothing I love more than a dumb blonde.
Right.
And she presents the dress to her and she knows right away what kind of material it is and it's not brand new. And if you're going to try to sell it to me for full price, you got the wrong girl. And so,
Right.
once again, you said, retail marketing and clothing marketing, you can't be stupid to get a degree like that. It's marketing.
Well, and it's beauty marketing too. So
Right.
later she knows the chemicals that go into
Oh, she does.
confirming somebody's hair.
Right.
I mean,
One thing leads to this is, and the director, I looked him up and I'm like, I've never heard of this guy.
yeah,
I didn't,
yeah, his
I
name is Robert
Luke
Luke
Tick, Luke Tick. Yeah. Now, other people
Robert
may have
Luke.
heard of him, but he is not in our normal, you and I, mainstream of movie watching.
Right. Well, this was one
Um,
of the first movies that he did, I
he
read.
did, right. And he did a great job.
Yeah.
He really,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great stamp for him to have in his directing playbook
Yeah.
because, or his passport, you want to put it, because he shows what he can do. And I think the cast that he got is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Raquel Welch, he's got, um, you know, I think Luke Wilson's great, but,
Matthew
Holland
Davis
Taylor.
plays Warner.
I mean,
Matthew,
Holland Taylor's
yes.
fantastic,
Oh, yeah. And Selma Blair plays Vivian,
Well,
and
and
Matthew Davis plays Warner, her
right.
ex-boyfriend.
And Victor Garber. I mean,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
he's so good. Now, I love Victor Garber because he always plays against who he really is in real life, which
Yeah.
he's gay, but he always plays these straight men that are cads. He
Right.
always plays that. And he's so
except
good
for
at it.
except for when he plays the king in the Cinderella that by
Yes.
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a very good one. But he's so great. I mean, it's just Jennifer Coolidge is hysterical,
Oh,
as
she is.
always.
Yes. This
I
was
like
one of
Allie
her
Lartner.
first
It's
Allie Lartner
I
too,
think
yeah.
it's I think is it before what made her famous, which was American Pie, which is not a movie I like, but there it's and Selma Blair. I mean,
Yeah.
she's one of those before her MS diagnosis. She's so versatile,
Yeah.
and she plays as we know, she plays every range of very hot to mousy to
Yeah.
and that night that Warner and Elle she's just so ready for the proposal. And he leads up. I love how he leads up to all this, I've got a very important future for me and blah, blah, blah. And as she thinks he's going to propose, he says, I think we should break up.
Yeah.
And this is a really important thing too, I thought was a great thing he says to her. I don't need Marilyn Monroe. You
Yeah.
know, and like having Marilyn Monroe is not the classy thing to have.
If I'm going to
And
be a political, yeah,
right.
if I'm going to have a political career, I need someone who's serious.
Serious. And she's
Yeah.
like, what do you mean serious? I'm serious. I'm seriously in love with you. Which,
Yeah.
once again, they give her this dialogue at the beginning to still kind of make her seem like she's an airhead, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and she actually cries. I mean,
Oh,
she's
yes. Oh, yes.
devastated.
She is devastated because I know she really loves him. And
Yeah.
and you just know right away he is a cad and he just
Yes.
dates her to date her while he's in college because he's probably known all along he's going to have to marry someone more like a Vanderbilt or you
Right.
know and for
Right.
some reason they seem to think they need to have this image of a woman who is somewhat plain and not Barbie or
Right.
Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
Because they do make a really great point that her signature color throughout this whole film is pink.
Right.
She's very
Or
Barbie-esque.
some variation of it.
Variations of pink. And sometimes there's
Yeah.
some purple thrown in there. But they do such a great transition because when he's like, I'm going to Harvard Law, blah, 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 I need to have someone serious, you know, she's just so broken up. And of course, she stays hibernating in her room for a while. And I
Yeah.
love her friends, they go to the nail salon and they're like, she hasn't even conditioned her hair in a week. They're just so upset that she's not,
And she's
taking care of
eating
herself.
chocolate. It's so
Eating
funny. She takes
chocolate.
a bite out of chocolate. She puts
Yeah,
it back
she
in the,
puts it back,
drinks
takes
another
another
one.
bite, puts it
Yeah.
back. And she's
She's
got her little
watching,
Chihuahua
she's watching
bruiser.
soap operas.
Oh yeah, so funny. She's so great. And she always has Bruiser, her little Chihuahua with her, which
Yeah.
is, Chihuahuas are known for, the upper crust people and their little dog they can carry with them. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's really great because, um, she's looking through a magazine as they're at that nail salon
Right.
and she sees a picture of Warner's brother being engaged to this woman who's the Vanderbilt.
Right.
And
Right.
that's when she goes, oh, I know what I have to do. I have to go to law school. I
Yeah.
have to show him I can go to Harvard, I can be serious, and then he'll want me.
Yeah. And it's interesting because in the picture, the woman that he's engaged to is not very attractive.
No, no, not at all, which is kind of like, that's kind of a strange image that they think they're supposed to create,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But once
Yeah.
again, it's all um that same trope of, you know, only unattractive women are smart.
Right.
And that's,
Yeah.
obviously they're playing on that as well.
Right.
Although sometimes when I watch this, because once she she studies like crazy for this LSAT, and
Yeah.
she's so serious about it. And when
And
she
she
gets
takes
that,
practice tests, and when the score
oh
isn't as
yes,
much as she wants, she
right,
goes back and does more
right.
studying.
She
I mean,
does.
she probably had a passing score on that
She probably
practice test,
did. I'm sure she
but
did, but she
yeah,
knew she had to have enough to get into Harvard. She knew it,
right,
or she wouldn't make it.
right.
And so that is once again shows how smart she is. She knows
Yes.
this. In
Yeah.
order to be taken seriously, she must have, a certain score on that LSAT. And she probably figured out, well, if it's not a 180, that's the highest one, then I have to get somewhere in that range.
Yes.
So
Right.
when she gets that 179, she heads to Harvard and under the assumption that as soon as she shows Warner that she's in, he's going to want her,
Yes. Right.
and then there's the surprise.
Right. Oh my God. How could that the ring on Selma Blair's character's name is Vivian. The ring on her finger, I mean, it would weigh you down on that
It's
side.
6 carats. They say it's a 6
It
carat.
is so huge.
It's
I would
huge.
want it. I wouldn't want to
No,
have a ring
it's
that
pretty
big.
huge. It's beautiful, but it's huge. But the way oh my God, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm going to law school. And he's just like, how did you do that? Well, I'm
I
a
love,
mess. I just love
well, I
her.
love the way she says, well, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard, right? She goes, it's not hard. And he's like, okay, And she's so cute because she specifically goes shopping to get to Harvard, what she thinks should be the smart. And that's one of the first times she doesn't wear pink anymore.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, and I love though that this is the other thing. The woman who wrote the book, because it's based on a novel. Her name is
Right.
Amanda Brown, and she went to law school and she had a hard time making friends and
Yep.
getting into study groups. And excuse me, I'm gonna
Because she
call.
was beautiful.
Well, I don't know if she was beautiful or not, but
Oh, I
she
think
had a
she was
hard.
beautiful. I get that
So
point.
she, so this, I mean, it's based on her experiences.
Right. Yeah. And
and
I
and
think,
that's the what happens to
well,
Elle is nobody wants
right,
her
because
to
I
be in
mean, look
there.
at all the women they show that are going to school. They're drab, they're, wearing
Right.
sweaters that are, these ugly sweaters and all browns and grays and, not women wearing glasses and their hair pulled back tight and, like that's the only way to be serious, which is of course, once again, that stereotypical look that they do on purpose
Right.
for the story. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all done with purpose,
Right.
but and that of course is to make sure she stands out. Because
Right.
it's so cute when she pulls up in her Porsche. Oh, we're here, and all her bags and
Eh,
the moving trucks and
yeah, the moving truck with all of her stuff. Yeah, and the thing that I love is everybody's watching her. She gets out, she has Bruiser. Oh, Bruiser, you must be so thirsty. And she has this little
yeah,
plastic dish and she pours water into it and everybody's watching her like, what the hell? And
she's got her boots and her pink outfit, and she's just
yeah,
hello, hello. And that's the thing I think that is so great about her is, when she sees Warner and he can't believe she's there. And then, they end up they have the first class together. And of course, it's Holland Taylor is the
right,
professor
right.
and she's asking a question. Well, Elle didn't pay attention that you needed to do some studying before you started your class.
Yeah.
And so she
Oh,
zeroes in on her because she's got a
yeah.
fuzzy pencil that she's writing with a little fuzzy. She's
Yeah,
so
and
funny.
no computer. She writes all of her notes on this heart-shaped
Yeah, she's got a little
pad. And
heart-shaped pad. And of course, she can't answer the question. And she's, you know, there's Vivian sitting over there, and she's like, Vivian, or whatever her last name is. Do you think
right,
she should be able to stay in this class if she hasn't studied? No, I don't think she should. So then she gets kicked out of the class.
right.
And of course, she's upset and crying again. And so she goes out to sit on this bench. And this is where we see Emmett, Luke Wilson.
Right.
And they start a conversation. And he's obviously thinks she's completely adorable because, well, she is. And
Yes.
and so he starts like, oh, you're in that class. Yeah, she likes to humiliate people. Oh, and if you happen to get such and such professor, sit in the back row because he has a tendency to spit when he's talking. He gives her the rundown of all the classes. And she's like, oh, well, thank you for being so nice to me. And he says, yeah, in her class, you need to be absolutely prepared. She will call on you and she kind of wants to humiliate you. Oh, okay, I won't let that happen again. Then Warner's just like, what the heck are you doing here? And and then she says, well, some, dowdy, girl, told me that I should get kicked out of the class. And then, of course, she comes walking up next to Warner,
Oh, yeah.
and then she sees the ring. And of course, she's like, oh my God, I'm hallucinating. What's happening here? Oh, what is, oh,
Yeah.
well, we've known each other since what he said, parochial, I
I
can't
can't.
remember,
Yeah.
elementary or something like that. And, it's always kind of been planned that, we would get married. And she's just like, oh, so then she has to gather herself again
Right.
because she doesn't know what to do. She feels like, I'm sure, without words, she's like, why did I come here then?
Yeah. And
He's never been honest with her.
right. He never had, he just wanted somebody to play around with when he was in college.
Yeah, and that the simple fact that it's obvious he didn't bother to get to know her.
Right.
He just
Exactly.
saw her as this hot chick that he could date,
But the thing is that even though she's a fashion into marketing for fashion, and makeup and all that, that marketing is, you got to pay attention to.
Oh
Um,
my God.
I
Right.
can't. I don't even know the language, but you got to pay attention to what trends and
Right.
market share and
And market
all that stuff.
research. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. What's hot, what's not,
right, right,
you know, w- it, probably having to do with price comparisons and, the
right.
whole nine yards.
I don't even
You're not stupid when you can do
know.
those things. And
No.
like you said, she even knows ingredients of things, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, then she's just, again, sad and depressed in her room, not sure what to do. And then she hears Vivian and her friend talking about, hey, we're having this party, bring your Merlot. And she's like,
Well, is
oh,
that after she goes to the beauty shop because she's so depressed? She goes to the beauty
oh, the
shop.
beauty shop is great. This is when yeah, no, it is after that. And or maybe, yes, it
I
is.
can't.
Because she's crying when she sees he's got this fiance now. And
Yes.
she goes to the beauty shop. Jennifer Coolidge is the nail tech there. And
Yes.
they have a great conversation. She's like, well, what does she have that you don't have?
Right.
No, you're beautiful. And and she asks, well, what does she look like? Well, she's not that unfortunate looking. She just needs her nails done and maybe a little mascara. I mean,
And
it's so
maybe a
cute.
few highlights in
And
her
a few
hair.
highlight, she's so kind about it, really,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I like how she says, well, why don't you fight for him? If you love him that much, fight for him.
Yeah.
So she becomes determined to do that. And then I think she still hasn't figured out exactly what strategy to use, but
Yes.
so she knows she's going to try to integrate herself into this, like she goes to their study group and
Right.
brings muffins, a basket full of muffins. Hi, here's some sustenance for study, and then she says something about wanting to join the group, and it's kind of a large group, but they're all like, no, you know,
Well,
Vivian's
well,
like, no, we don't have any space for it.
it's
And
Vivian that says,
Warner's,
yeah, and some Warner doesn't want her there either. But some of the other guys are like, well, it would be
yeah,
nice to, yeah,
well, I mean, we don't have space, but at first, Warner seems like he thinks it's an okay, but Vivian is like, no. So then she's just like, oh, okay. And then I think it's really interesting because, that first group, as they're being introduced to each other in the circle of people that are meeting each other, that
oh
woman
yeah,
who's a
before the first
lesbian.
day of classes, yeah,
Right. And she's like, she's, oh yeah, I'm lesbian and blah blah. And then, she criticizes Elle. She's like, what's the matter? You couldn't join the cheer. I mean, she's just so rude to her. And
yeah,
she turns to her and she goes, no. And then she goes, oh, would you call me a dyke? And she goes, no, I don't use that word. Maybe Vivian would. She says, I've never done anything to you.
right,
I've never done anything to you.
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
nice to you. And you
yeah,
can see, the look on this. She's like, oh, I mean,
yeah,
she's never been mean to anyone. She
right,
says hello to everybody. She's ready to be everyone's friend. And, you know, I'm not saying I'm Elle, but I've always been friendly my whole life.
yes,
I mean, we know the stories that mom and dad tell of when I was like 5 and 6 years old, and oh my gosh, where did Celeste go? Oh, she's on the bench over there talking to a stranger. And I know I still am like that at 59 years old.
yeah,
And throughout my whole life, I've had people go, why are you acting like that?
yeah,
Why are you doing that? Like they're suspicious that you're up to something.
right, Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm just nice. I love people. I love
Right.
having conversations.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
thing that it kind of goes quickly through that first year, but she succeeds even though she doesn't have a study group.
Right.
She
Well,
is,
I mean, when she gets, oh, you're having a party? Yeah, you can come. It's a costume party. Which
yeah,
of course
right.
it's not. Vivian's like, yes, it's a costume party. And it's the thing that goes completely against someone trying to be mean to you. Because
Yeah.
Elle dresses up in this cute pink bunny, you know. It's adorable.
Well, and somebody pointed out in the trivia that it's the same look as what's the one with Colin Firth and um um
Oh, Bridget Jones'
Renee
Diary.
Zellweger.
Yeah,
What is
Bridget
it?
Jones' Diary.
Yeah, it's almost the exact
Almost
same
the
look.
same. Right. They almost do
Yeah,
the same thing.
yeah,
But however, Bridget Jones isn't supposed to be beautiful.
yeah,
But I mean, I really love that she makes the best of it.
yeah.
Everybody's looking at her and they're kind of like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I get the joke now. I get what you're trying to do." And then Vivian says something so mean to her and she goes, "Well, I could have dressed differently like you, but I didn't want to dress up like what did she call her? A
Yeah.
frigid bitch or something like that." And she was like, "Oh." I
Well, she
mean,
she never swears, so yeah, but yeah,
she basically tells her, "You're stuck up and you're frigid and you're mean.
yeah,
You're just
yeah,
mean to me." And I love that she just bounces back every
right,
time there's a little bit of a setback. So then in her costume, she goes to buy a laptop.
right.
She's in the store in her bunny costume,
And
waiting
she's
in line, buying a laptop.
and she's buying the Apple, the one of the computers that brought Apple back from the brink of,
Right.
yeah.
Jamie and I used to have that version. But
And everybody else's laptop is black or
right. And she buys
gray.
this, hot pink thing. And I love that Emmett is behind her and he's like, "Oh, hi, what are you doing?" And she's just so happy. And he's like, "Okay, well, So that's when you see how serious she absolutely starts to just crush it in the
Yeah,
classrooms.
yeah,
And all the questions that are asked of her, she knows all the answers.
yep,
And you can see that the professors are becoming very impressed with her. And those quick montages, as you say,
right.
that first
Yeah,
year goes by
right.
rather quickly. And even Warner and Vivian are kind of like, how does she know the answers to these things?
Yeah.
And then you also see what a really kind person she is because the
Oh,
tall
yeah.
nerdy guy,
Yeah.
she's coming in with her arms full of books and from the library
Right.
and I mean, he is socially awkward, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
on a side note, it's Anthony Perkins' son, the guy that plays that
Oh,
part. That's
right.
Anthony
Oh,
Perkins' son.
yeah.
You can see it
Right.
in his eyes.
Yeah.
And these girls are like, "Why would I go out with you?" And
Right.
so she's like, Elle stops and she's like, "Oh." So she goes over there, slaps him. "How dare you treat me the way that you treated me? You're such a, I mean, I just love that scene. You're so mean and cruel to me." And then the girls are kind of like, "Oh, so when do you
He
want to
didn't
go out?"
he didn't want to go out with me. I don't
"Oh,
understand.
you're so mean to me." And he's like, he doesn't know what to do. But once again, she's being kind. She
Yeah.
wants to help the guy out to be able to get a date.
Yeah.
And she's all, "Look what I did." And I love it too that they show her going back to the salon and having these great conversations with they've become friends.
Yes.
And again, you see she doesn't care that Jennifer Coolidge's character is a different class than her.
Yeah. Who
Her
she
makeup
because
is awkward, her hair is awkward, and
or that
just
she
friends.
because Jennifer says she tells her the whole story about wanting her dog from her ex-boyfriend, and she didn't finish high school, and but
Right.
Elle doesn't care.
Paulette. Yeah, Paulette is her name.
Oh
Paulette.
yeah, Paulette.
And so,
Yeah.
Paulette's like, "Yeah, I got dumped. I've been with this man for years and he dumped me and I didn't even get
Yeah.
to take my dog,
Yeah.
And so she's like,
I love it when Elle goes and does the research, and then she has all this jargon that she uses because they go to get the
so
dog,
funny. So funny.
and he
Well,
has
and
to.
then it's so funny because you get there, it's a trailer.
Oh my
It's a
god!
travel trailer that they were living in.
And it looks like it's in a junkyard.
It does. And he
Yeah.
comes out and he's, got this big beer belly and he's like, "Oh, come back here to try to get, because you know what you're missing." And then Elle steps in and, it's not the correct, legal jargon, but she says it. And she's basically like, she gets to have the dog. She goes,
Yeah.
"Give me I love Paulette, give me the damn dog." And it's so cute because it's this big bulldog. So cute. They
Well,
drive away and they go,
this is the thing that I love about Elle is she helps Paulette gain confidence because
yes,
the UP it's
yes,
obvious the very first time the UPS guy
yes,
comes that he
right.
keeps looking over at Paulette and
And she's
but
looking at
she's so
him.
tongue tied she doesn't know how to talk to
No.
him.
Hi, hi. She's like, um, is that all the words you say to him? Well, sometimes I say welcome or so, she doesn't,
Yeah,
she like says
right.
two words to him every time. Oh, Paulette, we've got to teach you how to, say more things to him. How about the bend and snap? So she shows
Yeah,
that and then the whole salon gets involved. It's hysterical. But you're right. She's not self-centered at all.
not at all.
She cares about everybody and she wants
Yeah,
everyone to feel successful and welcomed.
yeah, right.
And that's just she's so authentic.
Yeah,
And I think the thing that confuses people about her, especially in this, arena is why is she so happy?
right.
Why is she so happy all the time? Like people just think she's just a little too happy. So anyway, I just love how she never lets anything get her down.
Right.
I mean, she allows herself to cry and be sad for a little while. But
Right.
I think also what's happening to her is she's really proud of herself. She's
Yeah,
answering these questions, she's doing all the work it takes to be a lawyer.
yeah, right.
And
She does get the internship
yeah,
with
because
one of with
because Victor Garber's character, he
yeah.
says, I have this internship, and it's very competitive, and I'm going to be very choosy. And so, if you guys want to leave your resumes with me, that would be really great. And it's just after she answered these really hard questions,
Right.
and oh, you won your case. I love that part too, because she's
Yeah.
so great about it. And and so she's, oh yeah, I have my resume. He goes,
He says, aren't you
aren't you
gonna
going to
sign up?
give me
Oh,
your resume? Yeah. Oh, yeah, here it is. And he goes, it's pink. Oh, yeah, I think it adds a little something extra. And
and
then
I
she
gave
walks away.
and
And,
I put some scent on it.
and then she walks away. And it's so funny. And Emmett walks over and he goes, it's pink. I mean, Victor Garber's
Yeah.
character, it's pink. And it smells. And he goes, smells good. He goes, do you think she just woke up one day and said, I'm going to go to law school? I love Emmett. He goes, well, it's a really great choice. I think she made a good choice. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so great.
I
And of
have to
course,
say I have
go
to
ahead.
say something about the pink resume. The pink resume comes from the when Amanda Brown sent in her manuscript to some agents, she sent it on pink
Oh,
paper.
I love it.
And so that's kind of where they got the pink resume
I said,
thing was, yeah. I mean, that's
it
how she
stood
got
out,
her
right?
agent. The agent said, nobody's ever sent anything on pink paper before. I'm interested. Who is this
Yeah,
woman?
but she's so smart. And that's the thing I think that surprises everyone
Yeah.
is just how smart she is. I mean,
Yeah.
when she answers questions in class, the entire classroom is like, what? How
Yeah,
does she know
really.
that?
Yeah.
And then, of
So the
course, she
case
gets
that they're working on is a murder
right.
case.
This is not even an internship. He says, hey, I've got a new murder case. I'm looking for some of you to join me to be a
Research.
part of my research staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
She gets on it. Warner is on it. Vivian's on it. Um,
Is
the
the
girl that's
lesbian
the
girl on it?
lesbian. Huh?
Yeah, I think she's on it
Oh
too,
yeah,
the
she is.
lesbian girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's such a great part too, because then she's like, okay, I'm on this. I gotta go do some more shopping. And she gets a really beautiful, like, suit, but fashionable.
Yeah.
And she and Vivian are still pretty much at odds with each other. I mean, they both get off the elevator across from each other, and it's like, hello, Vivian. Hello, Elle. You look very nice today, Vivian. Oh, thank you. And this is such a great thing too, because everyone sees how Elle, she's always got this critical thinking going on.
Yes, she does. Because one of the things she does, now this is where what's her name, Allie Lautner comes in. She's accused of murdering her husband. So, uh, but nobody thinks to go and talk to her, or maybe they do, but
Well,
they just
I, I think
because Victor Garber thinks she's
right.
guilty.
And he kind of lets that known to his staff.
Yeah,
Well, he was much older than her and very wealthy. Oh, did she murder him for his money? Well, you would think so, but she has her own fitness empire. She's wealthy in her own right. And that's when Elle's like, oh, wait a minute. Are you talking
right.
about? Yeah, yeah, that's her. That's her maiden name. Oh my gosh, I took one of her classes and, I lost, blah, blah, blah amount of weight in this amount of week. And she's
Yeah.
fantastic, so,
And she's a member of her
right. They
sorority.
went to the same university, but 4 years apart.
Right.
So, it's really great because right away they have a connection. They're
Yes.
considered sisters. They still consider,
Yes.
even if you're not there, you're like a sister. So,
Yeah.
at one point, it's like, well, we need to go talk to the ex-wife, which is Raquel Welch.
Right.
And she's at a spa or something. Oh, I could go. Oh, okay, because no one else wants to go to the spa to talk to her. And so Elle's like, well, I'll go. And he goes, Emmett, go with her. And of course, Emmett's like, all right. you know, and that's a really, those are really great scenes too, because
Yeah.
she and Emmett start to really get to know each other, and then he sees her in action asking all the right questions.
Well, yeah. I mean, she thinks outside the box too.
She
That's the
does.
other thing about her. When
She
that
does.
you see as they're doing this research and stuff, Victor Garber's character wants to keep it in this little box. Well,
He
she's
does.
thinking,
Right.
now wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. What about this?
Yeah.
What about this?
Right.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
does. She asks questions that he, as a very experienced trial lawyer, never thinks of. Well, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I don't know about that. Well, why don't, and she's like, oh, well, we can find out. He's like, okay.
yeah,
And then, all these things happen that really, Emmett, I love how Luke Wilson's character is with Emmett, because he allows himself to not only show that he's interested in her, but he's not afraid to just sit back and observe what she's doing.
and
You
to
know,
also encourage her. He
he
encourages her.
totally encourages her, absolutely,
Yeah,
because he sees how smart she is.
yeah,
And at this point, that Emmett is a full blown lawyer. This is like
yeah.
his first job at this law firm. So, he's a licensed attorney that's on this, you know,
He's
council.
probably an associate at Victor
Yeah,
Garber's
he
law
does say
firm.
associate. Yeah, he does say that. But what's so great is, um, she's like, I just don't think she could murder anybody. She has endorphins, and endorphins make you happy. And people that exercise and have endorphins, they're not angry, and they don't, they wouldn't murder anybody. And of course, everybody in the room is like,
Yeah,
you know, leave it to the blonde to say it. But the other thing that's important in these scenes too is, they're having these talks about, the evidence and things that they've talked about. And he turns to Vivian, oh, Vivian, would you go get me, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
coffee.
Like,
Go give me a cup.
give me some coffee. And Vivian's like, okay. Like she's not important all of a sudden. and it's really rude, but this is an important aspect to his character. You know,
Yeah,
he, I think he thinks he's just the biggest genius lawyer ever, you
right.
know, and
When
obviously he's thought that way, or, he wouldn't have been hired for this case.
right. Well, and I also like that those because he does it multiple times as we see them working on the
Oh,
case.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that one day Vivian goes to get something from, she needs to get a book or something from Elle. And Elle gives it to her. She goes, "Oh yeah, you can have it. I've read it 2 or 3 times, or 3 or 4 times, however many." And then Vivian's curious. She says, "Isn't it interesting that I am the one that's always asked to go to get the coffee? She never asks Warner. She never asks anybody else. It's always
He never
me."
does. No, he never does. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's like the first kind of breakthrough. And actually
Right.
Warner has said something to Elle that Vivian overheard is
Well, because Elle
it's
goes to talk to her because she's got an alibi, but she won't tell the alibi.
right. Oh, right. Well,
And so he's
right.
like, go talk to her. Go talk to her in jail and see if you can't get that alibi. He tells Elle to go, okay. Well, of
Yeah.
course, she finds out the alibi, and it's something that, she doesn't want to tell anyone because she's embarrassed that she was getting liposuction. She goes,
Well,
I'll ruin
it would ruin her
it would
her
ruin my career if I let people
business.
know
Yeah.
where I was
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so she comes back, oh, yeah, yeah, I know her alibi. It's really good, but I can't tell you. And that's when you're saying Warner goes up to her, oh my God, just tell. Who
Yeah, because
cares?
it's like he doesn't care about her about uh their client,
Right.
and
Not at
it's
all.
like he doesn't have any more, it's like his
Yeah,
morals
his
are
his his moral compass is not a compass at all. The
right,
integrity is not there, and it's all in it for yourself. And
right,
he can't
right,
figure out why Elle is not in it for herself. And you're
right.
right. Vivian sits back and is like,
So I noticed when Vivian goes to talk to Elle to get that book, or that whatever the
yeah,
case record
I
or
think it's
whatever it
case
is,
files or something or
she's
research.
not
Yeah.
wearing the engagement
Right.
ring.
I noticed it too.
And she's
Yeah.
hiding that from Elle. She's kind of holding her hand so that she
Right. Well, I think it's the perfect thing that happens for Vivian too, because she gets to see the man that she's been promised to since childhood, and he's not a good person.
he's not someone
And
she
and
wants to be
and you
married to.
actually get to see through this whole process of all of them working together that
Yeah.
Vivian actually is a good person.
Yeah.
Vivian's a
Yeah.
very good person.
Yeah.
And she says that to Elle, that's really great that you didn't reveal, because she needs to trust us, and she
Right.
trusts you,
Yeah.
and Elle's kind of like, well, yeah, naturally, like, to her
Yeah.
it's no big deal. Well, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
what you do. And so there's the one thing that happens though, where she gets, hey, well, they said their things to each other, and oh, he wants to see you. Oh, okay. So Elle goes, and then he makes that horrible pass at her, and she's just
Right.
like, oh my gosh, and she gets very angry with him, appropriately so. And
Right.
then, Vivian happens to see it, thinking, oh, no, she is just a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So Elle goes running out of that office, and she runs into Emmett. She's like, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm leaving law school. And he's like, what? And of course she tells him, he made a pass at me, and he was like, oh no, he did not. And she's like, yep, I'm out of here. Look me up if you ever come to LA. And he's angry. I don't think he quite knows what to do about it at that point, which of
Right.
course the next scene is Emmett and Vivian visiting her in prison, and she's like, where's Elle? And he goes, she quit the case. And Vivian's like, well, no, she quit. He tried to make a pass at her, and she left. And of course Vivian's like, oh my gosh, I made an enormous mistake.
Right.
And I love that she immediately is like, oh no, I messed this one up. And of
Yeah.
course, there are clients like, oh, we need to do something to fix this.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, at the same time, which I call meanwhile back at the ranch. Meanwhile back at the ranch, Elle is at the beauty salon saying goodbye to
Right.
Paulette.
Yep.
And who should be there but her what's her name? Taylor
Holland Taylor, the
Holland Taylor,
other,
right.
yeah, because
The
and she's
really
like,
difficult, yeah.
oh yes, and I love what she says to her. If you
The hell with law school. I just wanted to say goodbye.
If you're going to let one stupid prick ruin your life, you're not the girl I thought you were.
I mean, what an amazing thing to her to hear that she knows she's smart. She
Yeah.
knows she's courageous. She
Yeah.
knows that she has got an inner strength. She sees that in her.
Yes.
Because, from the beginning, she saw this blah, blah, blah little flighty girl that
Right.
everyone thought she was. And now she knows she's got the gumption,
She's watched her transform.
Right.
Or
Right. And so
her ideas about her have transformed.
they have transformed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Elle actually transforms too, because, this is something really great about this storytelling too, is Elle sometimes doesn't feel good about herself too.
Right. Right.
Because she's like, well, great. He just wanted me for, my body and my big boobs.
Right.
That's all he wanted.
Right.
Maybe I am just those things,
Right.
and that's when Holland Taylor's like, oh, no, no, no. You are so much more than that.
Yeah.
And she needs to hear that because, honestly, not that her parents were bad parents, but you get the impression when she tells them at the beginning that she wants to go to Harvard, like, why? Like, you're almost too pretty for that. And that they
Right.
just see her in that superficial manner
Right.
rather than a well-rounded, intelligent woman.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's really great to see what happens because she puts all pink on again and she walks into the courtroom and their client she tells him he's fired. And he's like, yeah,
Right.
right. She goes, no, you're fired. She's going to try the case for me. You can't do that. And I love that the guy's walking behind her with the precedence that
Yeah.
as long as another licensed attorney is with her, she can do this.
Yes.
And so she's like, get out of here. And it's
Yeah. And
so
it's the guy
great
she
how
helped. It's the guy
it's
she
so
helped.
great how everything comes together
Yeah.
because, at first, obviously, she doesn't know how to try a case. She's never done it before. She
Right.
hasn't reached that part of practice at law school on
Right.
knowing how the proceedings should go.
Right. Which is probably in year 3. And she's
Probably
only in
somewhere in
year
there.
1.
Yeah, she's only in
Yeah.
year 1. And it's really great because um it just comes together for her. And how it comes together is they're questioning the wealthy man's daughter
Right.
because she's the one that found her stepmom,
Over the
over her
body.
father's body after he had been shot. And so she's like that key witness that's going to prove that she actually killed her husband.
Right. Right.
And all the line of questioning, they get the pool boy up on the stand and
Oh, that
yes, we
was
were lovers and all these things. But then they have a break and Elle's like, oh my God, he's gay. He's
well,
gay.
she knows he's gay because he
Because he
knows
mentions her shoes,
exactly.
her Prada shoes, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that gets exposed by Emmett. And then, then the whole thing happens where she thinks she's going to leave. And then she comes in the courtroom, and the next person they have to question the next day is the daughter.
Right.
And, and it's just, these typical proceedings, the prosecuting attorneys are asking her the typical questions. Okay, you were in the shower, you got out of the shower, you found your dad and your stepmom, blah, blah, blah. It was supposed to be boom, boom, boom. That
Right.
Well, as Elle is questioning, I love how she just goes, so what did you do before the shower?
Yes.
Chutney, why is it that Tracy Marcinko's curls were ruined when she got hosed down?
Because they got wet?
Exactly. Because isn't it the first cardinal rule of perm maintenance that you're forbidden to wet your hair for at least 24 hours after getting a perm, at the risk of deactivating the ammonium thioglycolate?
Yes.
And wouldn't somebody who's had, say, 30 perms before in their life be well aware of this rule?
She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun, didn't you, Chutney? After you shot your father.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
Well, I went and got a perm. You went and got a perm, and then you took a shower. And the judge is like, what is your point? Yeah, you can see it clicks.
Yeah.
How many perms have you had in your lifetime? Well,
every
you know,
6 months since I was 12.
Oh, maybe every 6 months.
You do the math.
You
and she
do
does.
the math. And she does.
She does it in her head.
And that is that's such a good one too. And then
Yeah.
and everyone's like, what?
Even the judge goes, oh my God.
Oh my God. Everybody's, and then I love around the room. Oh my God. The defense attorney. Oh my God. Everyone's just in shock. And even Elle's like,
oh,
did I just do this? You know, what just happened here? And it's so great because, you know, the case obviously gets dismissed. There's this huge celebration.
Well, and the judge has the woman arrested right away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because...
But, you know, the other thing is, though, and I think this is so poignant, is the daughter has tears in her eyes when she says, you know, she's the same age as me because she knows she killed her dad and she didn't mean to.
Oh, yeah. No, it's Linda Cardellini. She's come a long way in these 25 years since this film. She's done such great films. I mean, she's part of Marvel, you know. She's
really
Hawkeye's wife, and you know, she's done all sorts of things. She's fantastic. And once again, great casting because you see all of these actors and where they've gone since this film is, you know, is really good. They're all really, really great actors and producers and directors. I mean, they've all continued really great careers.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's just once again proving just because you know, don't judge a book by its cover.
Right. I like the way they ended it. They tacked that on at the end where it's the graduation and Elle has been the one chosen to give the speech. And I because it was after filming was over. So they had to go to England because both Warner, the guy that plays Warner, Matthew Davis and Reese Witherspoon were in England filming separate movies. She was in the importance of being earnest. I don't know what he was filming. And so they just did because they filmed all this
graduation scene just there. Right.
Yeah. And but nobody else is there. It's just them. And then they melded them into, because they filmed all the whole crowd and everything before they went to England.
And as you can see the cut shots that they make to show them all. Right.
But I love the way her speech is so positive, just like she is. But at the end, it's like, we did it.
Yeah, we did it, everybody. Well, and it's so great because I love the little Emmett is gonna, you know, she and Emmett have been dating, and he's gonna propose to her tonight.
Yeah,
Warner did not graduate with honors, and he has no offer at law school, which she has at one of the most prestigious law firms. Elle gets an offer in one of the most prestigious Boston law firms.
Yeah, right.
You know, Vivian and Elle are now best friends, you know, and Vivian broke up with Warner, you know, and it's just, I mean, I love the ending too. You're right. But I don't know how you can watch. I know some people, I guess there's the people out there would watch certain movies and go, okay.
Well, you know, when I saw Reese, the reason I wanted for us to talk about this movie is because I saw Reese Witherspoon being interviewed by a Harvard business guy that she knows somehow. And it was, it's like only a month or two ago that they did this video. And he was talking about to her about how she had started 2 production companies
Yep.
because she wanted to promote women's stories.
Right.
And the first one she sold for a whole bunch, then she started another one, and I think she's also sold that one now too. But one of the things she said was, still to this day, women come up to her and say, I entered law school because of Elle Woods.
Right. Right. The
And
influence, and not just even law school. I think for women to feel attractive and smart.
yes, and or business school, whatever it is. And so,
But
and
it's
then
so
at one,
influential, right?
yeah, and at one point that there was some question that he asked her, and she goes, "Well, in my mind, I'm thinking like it's going to be hard."
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Right.
is a version of what Elle would. I might not be saying exactly what she said,
Well,
but that's
I
the
was looking
idea.
I was looking up Reese Witherspoon. Her real name is Laura, by the way. Reese is her mom's maiden name, by the way. Her mother Betty has a PhD in pediatric nursing, excuse me, and her father is a surgeon.
Oh,
So
yeah,
she comes from smart.
yeah,
She doesn't come from just, which I don't care. You don't have to be a surgeon. You don't have to be a,
right,
PhD in nursing or anything like that to be smart. Cause I mean, blue collar workers are super intelligent. Look at our father.
yeah.
Dad never went to college, but,
He didn't
I
even
just
finish
think,
high school.
no, I just think it's really interesting that, she didn't choose either one of those kind of paths.
Right.
She didn't choose medicine.
Right. And the whole point of this story, because when we were going to talk about it, I said, I'm looking at her and her, she always wears pink and so, and somebody even calls her Barbie, but it's like
Oh
a
yeah.
precursor to the Barbie movie where
Yep.
every,
Right.
because you can do what you want to do, and it's important for you to embrace who you really are and not
Right.
change.
And not
Not
change for anybody. Right.
but just go pursue what you want to
Right.
pursue.
Well, and that's the thing about, I know some people, not very many, did not like the Barbie movie. They didn't understand the satire in it. But
Yeah.
the thing about Mattel, and I remember seeing an executive or somebody for Mattel being interviewed as the movie Barbie was being
Mhm.
released, and
Mhm.
he said, there was many years ago in the 60s, someone actually pointed out to Mattel, why does Barbie only look beautiful and glamorous? Why isn't she a businesswoman? Why isn't she a doctor? Why isn't she a lawyer? Why isn't
Right.
she a zoologist? Or, these lists
Yeah.
of things that beautiful women still can do. And
Yeah.
they went, oh, yeah, we got to change that image,
Yeah.
because they weren't keeping up with the times of
Right.
women leaving the household and having careers.
Right. Exactly.
And and then, you see Greta Gerwig and her husband, who are a great team. They too were just kind of having this casual conversation about Barbie, and they went, "Oh my God,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have a movie.
Yeah.
Look at what we could do in this,"
Yeah.
And I love that Mattel and the Barbie and this movie, and there's other films too where it's not this superficial, shallow picture of women who are beautiful.
Right. Well,
And
yeah, and she is determined. She knows
yes,
she can do it,
yes,
and
yes.
she goes for it, and it's, she encourages other people to
She
do the same
right.
thing.
It's so true. And I love how she made friends with the people that judged her at first,
Yeah.
and she embraced them still.
Yeah. Right.
They're in the audience clapping for her because they found out who she really is.
Yeah, and she made them feel valuable too.
And right. Well, she helped them see themselves as valuable,
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
it's not an either or kind of a thing.
No, right.
It doesn't
Right.
matter who you are.
Right.
If you can do these great things,
You can do
You just
these
have
great
to be
things.
determined to do it.
Right. And that's exactly it. And I think it's been this timeless story and still continues to be popular because it is those very things.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely the truth.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, I think what's great about Elle, because even Legally Blonde 2, which I haven't watched anything beyond that. I guess currently right now they're having a show that's about Elle in her younger years.
Oh.
And Reese Witherspoon, I think, is producing it. But, you know, I think it's important too that you know, you obviously experienced growing up and becoming a woman who is educated and way different than me. We're 13
Mhm.
years apart. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a
You
lot.
know, like when I
You're a
went to
completely
school,
different generation than I am.
completely, right. And you know, yeah, you talk about what it was like when you went to go to school and you know, religious studies and how men were like, why are you doing that? You know,
Right.
where when I went to school, most of the women I know I went to school with, older than me, my age or a little bit younger, all went on to college and ended up with
Right.
careers and, you
Yeah.
know, expansive
Yeah.
lives.
Or some kind of career
Right.
school.
Right. I mean, there
Yeah.
were some that chose motherhood, which is important, obviously. I'm a mother, I
Yeah.
get that. And
Yeah.
wanted to be the stay-at-home mom, and that's of enormous value. I remember several years ago, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders did the math, and they said if stay-at-home mothers got paid what they're worth, they should make 150,000 a year.
Well, and they
And he
did the
goes,
same
so
thing.
we're undervaluing what they do.
Yeah, and the same somebody did the same thing for teachers. Well, if we pay teachers as if they were
Oh, yeah.
babysitters,
Right.
it would be like $200,000 or
Oh,
something
yes.
a
Well,
year.
and I
Yeah.
feel like we're on that trajectory of change right now.
Yeah. Right.
You
Yeah.
know, we allowed the wealthy to demonize the poor long
Right.
enough.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We allowed them to demonize the educated and the
Yeah.
educated woman
Right.
and blah blah blah. You know,
Right.
I mean, we're turning a huge corner right now.
Yeah. We are.
And
We
not
are.
just in America. I think it's a global movement as well.
Yes. It is.
You know,
Yeah.
I used to watch it, but I kind of like to get back to watching it again. I remember um this is I'm talking about um SVU, a special victims
Oh
unit
yeah.
in uh Law and Order. And you know, I remember when Hill Street Blues came out
Right.
and they were like, women police officers?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, that was in the 80s and then people, oh my God, and they were interviewing women that did these roles and why would you want to be a police officer and blah, 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 blah,
And
blah.
then there's Angie Dickinson being a police
Yes,
officer. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You know, policewoman, you know, what
Right.
a big deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, shows like that, they were breaking the ground
Yeah. Right.
for
Yeah.
all this. Now you have Elle and
Right.
Legally Blonde and
Right.
you know LA Law. I remember, you know, even in that show some of the female lawyers were still poo-pooed and you know, you can't be quite as
Yeah.
smart, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and so we've come a long way, but we
We
still
have.
have a ways to go.
We have a long way to go too still. Yeah.
And so to know what her character, I mean, you know, honestly, they just thought they were making a movie.
That's right.
You know, they were just making a movie. I mean, I've
Right.
seen Reese Witherspoon when women were coming up to her, she was like, oh, well, wow. You know, had no
Yeah.
idea that it was going to make
Yeah.
such an impact
Yeah.
and
Right.
still does. And still
Yeah.
does.
And it made back its money on the first weekend.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't that much money to make to begin with.
Yes.
It was a
Right.
low budget film, which when you look at it, I don't think of it that way.
No.
You know, it doesn't feel that way to me. I mean, they had
Right.
a Porsche and, you know,
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
expensive things in the film.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think And the other thing I like about it too is all of them in that movie remained friends.
Yes, that's
They're
cool.
always connected to each other somehow for the rest of their careers.
Yeah,
They've
which
always
doesn't
remained.
happen very often.
No, I was
Yeah.
seeing Ali Lautner. She's in something that's quite popular right now with Billy Bob Thornton. Um, and she said when everybody met, it was like, we just knew we were going to be friends forever.
Yeah, they
Because
clicked.
I don't know how to explain it. I can't, it's not something that you can put a word to. It was
Right.
just a connection.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's probably why films like that work so much,
Yeah.
because they all felt connected to each other.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to end this.
It's such a great
And
movie.
the next one that we're going to do, we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about what it means to be a healthy male. And so
Yeah.
we're going to have several movies in that genre. And the first one, another Gregory Peck, because he in real life was a healthy male. And it's The Big Country. And so that's the next one after this. That's going to be
Don't get
episode.
too tired of us if it's a lot of Cary Grant, Gregory Peck, Spencer Tracy.
But we
Humphrey
are going to
Bogart.
have
We
one.
might get a little boring.
But a little later in the year, we're going to have Jimmy Stewart and some other ones. So,
Yes.
so thank you so much for following, and please make comments to the movies and tell us what you
Right.
thought about what we said about the movie, and if you have something different to say about the movie, and tell your friends. You can go have a movie party and talk about the movie, and then come and make comments on either our Facebook page or here on
Right.
YouTube. And
Right.
thank you all so much for following us. We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.